Hey there crew, it's Mark. I wasn't gonna open this one up ahead of time, but I really felt like we needed to open this together because this is one of the most expensive Advent boxes that I've ever purchased for myself. This is the Tom Studio Advent box. This is the very first year that they've done this box, and I have no idea what to expect from them because this Advent box was $340. And I've spent a lot on Advent boxes for ink ones from Colorverse, and I've bought the Archer and Olive one as well, and this one is an investment. So we're gonna open it up together today and we're gonna check out to see everything that's inside of here and hope that it is worth this amount of money for the very first box from Tom Studio. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have pretty high expectations for Tom's. I've been a really big fan of all of their pens. As you've seen, I've talked about them a lot throughout the year. I'm in love with their Lumos pen so much that I have 3 of them. I love their Wren. I love their little field mouse pens. Like, they have so many cool things. So I'm excited to see what they offer up because they have more than just pens. They have inks, they have calligraphy tools, and I'm hoping that all of those things are going to be inside of here. So let's go ahead and crack it open and see what's going to be inside of this Advent box. So this Advent box is completely already sold out for the year, and I haven't seen anyone else unbox them, and maybe they're being good boys and girls this year and waiting for the full 24 days of Christmas to open this up before they get into it. But I gotta say, the packaging on this is really fantastic. Their design team always does such a fantastic job with everything, but I think they did a really great job. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this online originally, I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger than this because it looked very like grandiose inside of the picture, but it's not that giant. Actually, it's a bit smaller than the Archer and Olive one that we opened up just a few weeks ago, but it's all about what's inside more than just the packaging, more than anything. All right, so we'll take off the cover here. And inside of here, we have 9 individually wrapped boxes. Now, I have to tell you, the quality of this thing is really fantastic. I will 100% be keeping this and reusing this for something inside of my studio. So we'll go ahead and start pulling out each one of these. I don't know how they're all gonna be wrapped, but I guess we should start here with the top drawer. Oh, and it already says day 1 on top of here. It is beautifully wrapped. I wonder if they individually wrapped all of these as they did these. I don't know how they mass produce things, but we'll see what's happening. All right, so our very first thing in here, day 1, is going to be a Lumos Mini. Oh my gosh, I already have so many of these pens already. I'm just gonna keep adding to the collection, but I'm very excited about it. We're gonna pop this one open here. We're gonna see like a really cool color. So the Mini essentially is like 1/2 of a Lumos pen. So if you have the Lumos here, it's a little bit shorter than the Lumos pen itself. Now, something I'll be lightly keeping track of as we go through, of course, is going to be the value for this money, right? So a Lumos about this size usually costs a little bit around like $55, $57 or so. So just kind of going to tally that up as we go through to make sure, like, is this Advent box actually worth it? But this is super fun. So inside of here, right, you're gonna have everything that you normally do. Inside of here, you're gonna lift to reveal, and then usually what's going to be inside of these containers are going to be a small ink bottle, and then also the full tip set. So if you've never had anything from Tom Studio before, then you'll be very excited. I already have a few of these tip sets, but if you're new to them altogether, you get all these different tips that you can put into these pens, right? So if we unscrew the top here, you'll see this space, and so you pick whichever one you want. Now, if you haven't used Tom Studio pens before, once you unscrew the top, you'll see there's a reservoir, and this is what you dip into ink. So if you don't have any other ink, and I am hoping that there's other inks in here, you put this right inside of this bottle, and you can fill these up super easily and reuse them. They last a really long time. I think that's what I love so much about the Tom Studio pens. Like, I've had my Lumos inked for quite some time. So you have a lot of ink that can go in here, and then to refill it is so incredibly easy. Something else that I really like, and I don't know that I've noticed this in the past on these, they started to include what the tips look like, because usually I don't think they've had these. So you have the 0.1 all the way up to the 1.0 millimeter. We have writing tips for a 0.3 and a 0.5, and then a brush, chisel, and a bullet point in here as well. So all of that's there for us. So day 1, you already get a pen. I mean, what more could you ask for? How about 23 more days of excitement from Tom Studio? Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna open up the second drawer, and we have multiple things inside of here. We have 2, 3, and 4 inside of here. We'll go ahead and start with day 2. I already have a feeling, because I'm so used to working with these different items from Tom Studio, that this is going to be a small ink sample. And I am correct. This is a cheeky little ink sample. I freaking love the name of their cheeky little ink samples. It's so much fun. We'll go ahead and open this up. And I don't know what color this is. Usually there's a sticker inside of here that tells us, unless I'm missing it, but I'm assuming that it's going to be this red color because I know that they hand paint a lot of their packaging on top of here. I mean, I guess the only way to really know is to like do a real quick ink sample. Luckily for us, the ink sample bottles are so nice because there's an actual glass eyedropper that's inside of here, which makes doing any type of ink samples really easy to do. I'll have to see if there's something that tells us like what all the actual colors names are, because the only way I'm going to be able to add this to my ink swatch collection is to know exactly what the ink color is. All right, we're off to day number 3. Okay, so we've got something inside a little package here. All right, we've got one of our capsules that says Inky Goodness Inside. So this is going to come with a few of their reservoirs inside of here. If you're the type of person that likes to change out the colors inside of your Tom Studio pens, you can buy these little capsules from them too, and that's what this is for. We would take out all the extra reservoirs inside of here, and we could put another reservoir inside of here that has ink in it already, and it'll keep it nice and airtight. And that way, if I want to switch my pen from black to blue, for instance, I can go ahead and just put like the black ink inside of here, inside of one of these reservoirs, fill up a blue one and put that into my pen and use it. So it works out really nice. So it's nice that we have a few extra of the reservoirs in here and also these little containers, which I really like. All right, we're checking out day number 4. Let's see what we got here. What is this? It looks like a piece of cork. I'm curious if maybe it's like an extra like pen holder, like while you're writing with your pen if you want. Which I'm not gonna lie, is actually kind of nice. There's no instructions anywhere that are telling you, so I could be making this up altogether, but it feels like something you would put onto your pen because it fits right onto the Lumos, and it's actually quite comfortable. I never thought that I needed one of these with my Tom Studio pens until right now. So it's actually really nice. I didn't know that I needed this, and I'm totally surprised by it, but I love this as an accessory, and I love too that like, it makes holding the entire Tom Studio pen actually feel a lot better in my hand. I'm so used to kind of getting a tighter grip on this because they're, for the most part, are kind of thin. But this is awesome. I'm happy with this one. This is exciting. I'm also deciding to already use my Tom Studio storage for all of my things just so I can keep track of them and I don't lose them on my desk. So the box itself for functionality is already paying off. All right, let's go and open our next one. We have day 5 and day 6 inside of here. All right, day 5 looks like we have another ink. Get out of here. This says Tom Studio highlighter tip for the Lumos. I think we have now moved into highlighter territory with our fountain pen. So this is bright, this is in your face. Let's open us up. Do we have some green highlighter fluid inside of here? We have to take a look at this nib as well, because I'm curious how much bigger. Oh, there's a bunch of them in here. That was a surprise. So we have a bunch of those chisel tips inside of here. We don't want to lose that. I'm expecting this to be like ridiculously bright and in our face, but I think I was expecting yellow. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I got this all over me. But I think it's green. This is a little bit messy. Did that to myself, I think, here. Or it's on the bottle. Oh my goodness, we're creating messes. I don't know what I expected, dealing with ink inside of this, but I got it everywhere. Well, we weren't wrong that we have highlighter ink because this is quite highlighter-y. I just happen to get it everywhere, but that's super exciting that we have highlighter ink for our Lumos pen. One of the things that I need to figure out with all of my different pens is how to be able to label them or let myself know what's what. Like grabbing certain pens that have certain things inside of them, like highlighter ink. All right, now that we are fully in ink mode, let's go ahead and check out what is inside day number 6. All right, great things often start off small. Oh, it's one of their teas. So Tom Studio, I think, is probably most well-known, not just for their Lumos pens, but also they always include tea inside of all of their boxes that they get. So what is a Tom Studio Advent box without some extra tea inside of here? Now, there's also a card inside of here, and I'm curious if maybe this has to go with it, but it's an introduction to the art of monoline lettering with Gemma. So I'm going to scan this QR code later on and check it out, but I'm curious if this is kind of like part of the gift as well, is an introductory class as well. Which is a very interesting kind of gift, right? Because you're so used to like actual physical products, but being able to take a class and learn about lettering, and I have all the ink and pens to do this, that could be pretty incredible. All right, our next box has a bunch of little goodies in it, so excited to open these up and see what's next. We've got so many more days to go. I love 24 days of an Advent box so much more than 12, personally. There's so much more exciting things. All right, we'll go ahead and start off with day number 7. This is interesting. I can't tell what it is inside of this packaging, but it looks pretty cool. Oh, I know what this is, a pen holder. And that way, if you have multiple pens out, you can use this for your different Tom Studio pens, or if you have calligraphy pens, you could rest them on here while you're not using them. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, because again, I don't have any of the papers on this, but they've been partnering along with Brothers Make and taking like reusable and recycled plastic and turning them into products. And I'm curious if this is one of them. Like I have the field mouse and it came with this Brothers Make clip on here. So it kind of reminds me of what they've done here as well. All right, let's go ahead and check out day number 8. I feel like every time we see this shape, we can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be some type of an ink sample. We do have another cheeky little ink sample inside of here. I am a little bit bummed that there aren't any labels on any of these. Usually with their ink samples, they have a little sticker on them that tells you what the color is. Because for someone like me that digitizes my entire ink catalog, not having them is a little difficult. No, I'm not 100% sure and I'll have to check, but it says, found your perfect inking match, shop my full-size inks here. So I don't know, we'll have to see if that takes us just to the general ink page or to the specific color, which would be helpful. One of the reasons I talk so much about having ink colors on these things is that like I'm color deficient. So, you know, I can guess sometimes with most colors, like I can be like, oh, that's green or, you know, something like that. But blue, purple, yellow, green sometimes gets me a little mixed up. But I am going to guess this is like a pink or like a purple is what it looks like to me. It looks more pink here, but I guess when it dries, it's going to look more like this. So we can see the color, which is great, but I just don't have a ink color name, which would be even more helpful. All right, and then day 9, I see some type of a pen nib inside of here. All right, and this says Tom Studio Detail Brush Tip for the Lumos. So I'm wondering if it kind of gives a much more kind of brush feel, which I don't know that we've seen before from them. Oh no, we have. I think these are just like the small ones that come inside of the packaging. But we have extra nibs for our Lumos. We love having fun with our Lumos. There's no doubt about it. It's crazy to think that I think we're only on day 10 now. I always lose count whenever I do unboxing videos. I should pay attention to the numbers, but we have a bunch of little stuff inside of this one. And it starts on day 10, so I think I'm onto something. I can't tell what this is from this packaging because it doesn't feel like anything normal. But I think we have a little Tom Studio notebook. Is. Look at that. World Last Trust, Coffee Note Shop, and then we have Tom Studio down here, which maybe you can see kind of embossed on the front here. I'm a sucker for notebooks. I love little ones like this. I can definitely use these for ink swatches or taking notes, which is great. This is a great pocket-sized notebook, so we'll see if there's anything else pocket-related inside of here. I'm kind of hoping there's a pocket pen inside of here because I love those so much. I guess the Lumos Mini is a really great one to have kind of come along with me, but let's see what else is inside of this box. All right, number 11. All right, I think I'm on to something. So this is the Lumos Loop. I can probably show you best on the one that I already have here, but if you want to turn any of your Tom Studio pens into something that travels a bit better, you can buy the loop, which just screws onto the other end and has this loop on it. So you can kind of turn any pen you want into that. A lot of people will also choose to put them like on the top, and that way you only have just the reservoir that's in here with the one nib that you have. It turns it into like a mini travel guy. I have a feeling that we're on to something. Pocket notebook. We've got the loop here. I think we're going for a travel theme inside of this drawer. All right, so let's go ahead and check out box 12. Ugh, and I was so right. This is the Field Mouse, and it is the tiniest little pen ever. When you hear the word Field Mouse, I mean, it's exactly what you think it's going to be. So it's a little tiny pen. It is so small. Oh my gosh, look at this. It has little tiny raccoon feet on this one. I'm assuming they're raccoon feet. This has the loop already on it. So what's so cool about the Field Note? So first of all, you get a different kind of nib on here. And the way that you use this, you can use the top of your pen, and you'll see this little kind of key turn that's inside of here. And you give it a few turns, and you'll see the reservoir in here. And so inside of here also, you'll see another one of the little ink samples. And you just use the tip while it's on here, you dip it into your ink and fill it up. And then you just have to pop it into your Field Mouse, and you turn it back on, and then you have a little travel buddy with you. You can clip this onto your backpack or tie it onto anything. I don't know if you're around the same age I am or not, but like Ghost Rider was huge when I was little. So like I could make this into a little Ghost Rider necklace and become a Ghost Rider just like all those other kids in the TV show. But this is great because you can fill this up with any type of fountain pen ink that you want. And I'm so excited. We really do. We've got our little travel notebook. I can turn another pen into a travel pen. I have the Field Mouse here. So now we have to see if we are in the same theme with number 13. So this is your loop. You can use it as a key fob, I think is what it's technically called online, but you can use it for your keys, right? Everything you want. And then if you take your Field Mouse here, you can attach that right onto your keys. So everywhere you take this with you, if you're like, oh, I need to write something down, or I need a pen and no one has one, you have your Field Mouse here. You can write with it real quick and then pop it right back on here. So I was right on point. We had a travel drawer. We got all this fun stuff in here. This is really, really nice. I'm a big fan of everything. And like, as I'm adding this up in my head, and I think I've now forgotten to talk about a lot of the prices, but we can do that more towards the end. Like, this is already adding up to quite a bit. I think by the time we get to the end of this, this is gonna be well worth it. I mean, we almost have like an entire Tom Studio store now, like in our Advent box, which is pretty incredible. All right, we'll start with day 14. Another ink. I can already tell you before I even open it up, but I'm excited to see what kind of ink it is. Oh, it's a nice dark color. I like this one. Again, no name on here, so I can't tell you what the name of the color is if you're asking me. But I am loving how dark this one is. That looks so nice. That's gonna look amazing when it dries. All right, we got day 15. Ooh, we have ourselves a really nice pencil sharpener. Which is interesting because I don't know that I've ever seen any type of pencils or anything come from Tom Studio before, because everything has always been a pen. As an artist, nothing beats a really nice, like hardcore, like this is really heavy, feels really good, pencil sharpener. So that's really nice. So you have a small one over here, and then if you have a larger size pencil, you can sharpen that over here. I think the biggest one I have is already sharpened, but if I wanted to sharpen it, this big guy fits inside of here too. So this is super nice. I think some people might be like, a pencil sharpener, Mark, really? But like, as an artist and as a person who loves drawing and using different types of stationery, like, this is awesome. All right, number 16. We have more tea inside of here, Chalky Bicky tea. And then we have another card inside of here for Tom Studio. And this says, Having Fun with Characters by Bethany Wolving. So I'm thinking that these cards are courses that you can take, so to learn more. So like, this is really nice. So we have 2 classes so far that we've gotten as a part of this. We have all the pens, we have all the ink, we have all the fun that we get to use in those classes. So I'm really liking the diversity of the product and even classes. So that's pretty awesome. And this ink is dried a little bit more. And I love how dark and dreamy it is. That's pretty nice. All right, so we are 2/3 of our way through this box already, and so far we have multiple pens, we have a lot of different types of ink and some cool stationery. We've got a little travel kit that's going on with this. We just got that pencil sharpener and these courses. I mean, this is adding up to be pretty amazing so far, and I'm excited to check out the last 3 drawers that we have and the rest of the days of this Advent box. This is so fun. I always feel bad when I open Advent boxes ahead of time, because I know this is supposed to be like fun as we go throughout the entire season. But this is just one that I had to open up right away. So let's go ahead and continue along with number 17. All right. we've got ourselves a plastic eraser inside of here. So we had that pencil sharpener before. Now we got this really cool looking plastic eraser. I'm hoping we get a Tom Studio pencil or something inside of here. That would be super cool. Oh, we got to do 18 first before 19. I have a feeling that this is going to be another little small pocket notebook. And it is a little bit of a different design on this one. You can see the Tom Studio a bit more, but Coffee Notes and Tom Studio. So it's the collaboration that they've done together. And then number 19, I'm going to assume is another ink. All right, another cheeky little ink sample. Now this is right up my alley. This is a really nice teal, little blue-green action going on inside of here. I don't want to go too heavy with this one because the other one was so thick, but you can see it even has some nice sheen to it. I'm seeing that pop out. But this one I love so much. It's like one of my favorite colors. I love putting these inside of my pens. It's not even dry yet, and I'm already like, yes, this is my favorite color. So I'm going to have to recruit you in the comment section or my kids here at home to like help me with some of these colors, to be like, what is the base color here that we have going on? Because it's hard to tell sometimes. Again, that's the only thing I can say so far as I'm going through this is I wish the little ink samples did say the colors, because that's another important part about like sharing and like having fun with it and seeing what's going on. But everything so far is very neat. So let's go into our next drawer. All right, so day 20 is a big one. It's all by itself, which I'm going to assume is another pen. And not only is it a pen, but it is a Wren. I think we matched the pen that we got before. So if you're not familiar with the Wren from Tom Studio, the Wren is more of a writing type pen versus the fine liner type point. And it's like a mini pen or pocket sized pen because it kind of folds in on itself here. You pop it open and then it becomes a full size pen that you write with. Similar to all the other Tom Studio pens, you unscrew the top here and you have your reservoir in the top that you can fill up with ink. We lift up the box here. Inside of here, we have our ink. And then we also have a starter guide as well, which I think comes in all of the different pens that you get. But the Wrens are great pens. Again, if you're not into the fine liner type pen, it only takes one nib size, right? It's only this one that you get, and you can buy replacements if you need to. But one of my favorite things, I think, is that it easily pops together. It can stay relatively small and compact, or you can open it up, turn it into a full-size pen and write with it, which is really nice. Loving this color, too. It's so cool. It's unlike anything else that anybody else has. Like, only people that have this Advent box are going to have this pen. At least I think. I don't know. Maybe they already have this color at home. But I'm excited to have it. Another beautiful Wren to add to the collection. All right, and we're on to the last drawer and the last 4. That wasn't meant to rhyme, but it did. So excited to see what the last 4 days of the Tom Studio Advent box are bringing to us. All right, day 21. And it doesn't say on the packaging as well, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this and see if maybe the other things have anything to do with this one as we're unboxing it. If not, I mean, it does look like the top of like a Wren, so I don't know if it's just like another different top instead of the others, but we'll see what keeps coming out of this box. All right, 22. This is going to be another T. And then it looks like we're going to get another class, 12 step-by-step festive joy drawing guides with Emma Webb. So we're going to be able to learn to draw some more stuff. We've got our muled Christmas chai here, and we can have some tea and enjoy another class. All right, day 23. I think we have ourselves another ink sample. This is a very nice festive color that we got going on here. Look how this one dried. Oh my, that's my favorite. This is my favorite color from anything I've seen. Look at that. That looks so good. Look at the sheen on this one. That's looking awesome. All right. Get back to business. Oh, wow. Without it even being dry yet. It's so good. I'm actually surprised that we didn't see more shimmer inks in here. I'm not mad at it because honestly, shimmer inks don't really work in a lot of the pens or any of the pens, honestly, that we have. They're mostly for more of the calligraphy type things that they're doing, but these colors are fantastic. I again just wish there was a name to them so I could tell you what they were because like I'm gonna need a bigger bottle of some of these. All right, and our last day, day 24. Let's see what we got as the last item inside of the Advent box from Tom Studio. Looks like washi tape. And it is a little MT pastel lavender basic. This feels like a weird last thing to have as an advent box. Now, again, don't get me wrong. This entire box is very cool. I love the inks and the pens, but to have tape as the last item in this box and with that price, like, I'll be honest with you, I would have expected like some calligraphy item or something like that instead of lavender basic tape, but I'm going to stop there. Just say, let's check out the rest of this box and everything that came inside of here. Like, does this all add up to the price tag of $340? All right, so Tom Studio gave us a ton of cool things inside of this advent box. And if you take a look at all of it and you're like, whoa, this is a lot of stuff, and it definitely is. Now, does it add up to the same price tag, the value that you get out of a $340 advent box? Now, you're getting 24 days of items versus other companies sometimes only do 12 at a time. And we definitely got a mix of everything. I think this is like a fantastic like Tom Studio starter kit, right? You get Lumos pen, you got a Ren, you got the field mouse, you got all of these different ink samples, you got some of the different accessories and things like that. But I think it adds up to right about the same amount of money. So it's kind of the excitement, the packaging, you know, the enjoyment of the advent box, the amazing design of everything as well. This box kind of equals itself out. So, you know, I always look at this in a few different ways when we talk about like surprise boxes or different types of like subscription boxes. If you love fun and surprises and you love a brand, then it's totally awesome for you because you get all these little samples of things that maybe you wouldn't have picked out for yourself, maybe different colors of things that maybe you don't usually try, and this kind of lets you have fun with those and experiment into those. I also love that they did something different with the classes that are available through Tom Studio because honestly, I had no idea that that was something that they offered. And then when I was doing my research and taking a look at prices and things like that, they offer a lot of cool classes and videos and downloadables for you to try things out, to learn how to draw, learn how to letter, and do more things like that. So I love that that was intermixed inside of there too. The one thing though with these is I know a lot of people like value for your money, but I think that if you're looking for like a value for your money, I don't know that this is necessarily that. You're not getting, in my opinion, at least kind of adding things up more than what you paid for that advent box, right? You're kind of evening out in there. I mean, you can add on that you also got like a storage container because this is very well made and this will definitely be used for a lot of my Tom Studio items that I have here. But altogether, everything equals itself out, right? If you're looking at the pens and the inks and the classes and all the accessories and things like that. But I'm super excited to continue to build out my Tom Studio gear. And just to be clear, I bought this advent box with my own money. This is not a special thing sent to me, so it's not like, oh, I love it because they sent it to me. Not at all. This is something I spent my own money on, and I gotta say, like, I'm excited about it. I also have a lot of the Tom Studio stuff already, so like some of these items I'll not have duplicates of, and for that I'm not super excited about. I personally would have loved to see more calligraphy items inside of this box. I think if you're already a Tom Studio fan and you're willing to put up that amount of money for this advent box, you're the type of person that probably already has a Lumos and probably already has a Ren and has a number of these inks already. So being able to try different things, or maybe even to include a fountain pen in here or one of their calligraphy nibs and maybe a small holder or something like that, would have made this just a little bit more fun. But that's just my opinion. I'm just one, average consumer of Tom Studio, just like everybody else. Again, overall, I think it's very cool. I love the surprises. I love that there's 24 items that are inside of here and a diversity of items from Tom Studio as well. But of course, more than just me, I would love to hear from you. What did you think about this advent box from Tom Studio? Did you find this to be worth the $340 that it cost? Or do you feel like they could have maybe done something a little bit different? And what would you have liked to have seen inside of here? I always love to hear from you down in the comment section. I love to check out these different stationery boxes and advent boxes because it's cool to check out. As a stationery lover myself, it's cool to have these things in my collection. And as a person, again, a consumer who's spending my own money on a lot of these items as well, I want to make sure we're getting a good deal and having fun at the same exact time. As always, I love hanging out with you. Thanks for dropping any comments down below on your thoughts on this advent box from Tom Studio, or just your thoughts overall. Until next time, friends, see ya.